I'm Rakesh Nangia. I'm a practicing chartered accountant. Budget 2015, very high on expectations from the government. Very long list of challenges before this government. A lot of promises that have been made in last 9 months by this government. The government is all set, hopefully, to perform, to unleash more reforms, to come out with some bold decisions to take out this economy from the current state of affairs. Expectations are huge. Our expectations are from the industry, expectations are from FIs, expectations are from foreign investors, expectations are from individuals, and expectations are from all the quarters. Will this budget deliver? What are the constraints before the FM? What are the challenges before the present government? Is this budget be a reformist budget? Let's see what are the few major expectations from this government, the promises this government has done in last few months in the election campaign. And here is challenge, and here are the few list expectation generally from the people on this budget, which will have a far-reaching impact on the economy. One of the biggest challenges the government has to do is to boost the manufacturing sector, to make a Make in India program successful, as announced by the government, as announced by the PM. Will they be able to do this? What are the challenges in the manufacturing sector before the government? It has been very unfortunate that the manufacturing side of this economy has been sliding down, and the service sector has been going up. The share of the service sector is higher than the manufacturing side in the current GDP. Earlier, if you see, India was predominantly a manufacturing economy. Unfortunately, it slipped down very badly in the index. Reasons. There were a battery of reasons why the manufacturing sector went down. Fortunately, the government is fully aware of it. They made a lot of promises, and these promises have to be translated into action in this budget. They have to see that the manufacturing sector get a full boost. A boost can be in the shape of direct taxes, in the shape of incentives. It can be on the financial side, it can be on the commercial side. It can be a complete rebooting the manufacturing sector so that India really holds a good position in the manufacturing side and global side is concerned. So to make in India program, the government has to come with number of reforms, and it's not going to be one or two reforms that are going to make a difference. It may not necessarily be seen that all these reforms comes in the budget, because a lot of things have to come at a state level also. But the government should make a clear roadmap in terms of actions, into specific decisions that they need to take it to see that the manufacturing side really takes a boost here. It's not only a part of it has a more add to GDP, it creates an employment for the country. It churns the investment cycle of the country. And actually we had a very predominant important position in manufacturing side, and which has nosedived in last number of years, gradually slowly going down. So the government will have to think in terms of providing incentives, in terms of tax incentives, in terms of locational incentives, maybe locational incentives with lowering down the interest part is concerned, rationalization of duties is concerned, and at the same time to see creating awareness and dissemination of knowledge that how the manufacturing sector is globally competitive in India basically, and how we can compete with the neighboring countries which are coming in a big way basically in the manufacturing side. So this is one of the major expectations that people or the economy has it from the government is concerned. One more important part which government will have to see that to kickstart, it has not really kickstarted it very well, to see that our growth rate is sustained, but it is moves in an accelerated mode. What is challenging is this: can we reach that? Will the government will have sufficient funds to increase the public spending? Will they be able to do a lot of capex spending? Will they be able to cut down on the non-planned expenditure? Very big challenges before the government. I think here the very important part is the government must ensure that the spending targets are achieved. As per the information that for the year ending March 2015, the planned expenditure has not, the amount was supposed to spend on the planned expenditure has not been done there, and substantial part of the money is going to come back to the government to meet the fiscal deficit. So this is not a very good situation actually. So hence the planned expenditure which the government is going to commit to the budget. First, there should be high commitment. Second, they must ensure it is spent well. Third, it must show that it churns the economic activity in the economy. This is a very, very important challenge with the government. One of the biggest reform which is pending before the government, and I think it's going to be very challenging, but very important, and the government has been working very hard to ensure that the GST really comes and sees the light of the day on March of 2016, April of 2016. Very big challenge. It has to be passed in the parliament. It has to be passed by 50% of the states. Hopefully it should be done. It's a very, very major reform which will take away the battery of the taxes and make India a good place, an easy place to do business as India is concerned. If you see the whole litigation in India, you have a battery of litigation on the different laws are concerned. Battery of registration, battery of filings, battery of returns to be filed. I think if you see, you count it, whether it is excise duty, whether it is service tax, whether it is VAT, similar other taxes basically. So all these taxes, when they converge to one taxes, I think it will be one of the biggest reformist step taken by the government, I can call it, since independence. I hope they are able to deliver it. The government has been promising it. There will be still a lot of challenges because we lack full majority in the parliament, in the Rajya Sabha. And of course, to lay down the whole system, to kickstart, will be another immediate challenge where the government will have it. So we expect, hopefully, this will see the light of the day. Government will work on it to make it a success program. Government will make it to be done timely also. It is going on from last 10 years plus, basically. So it has to be done timely also. So timely, the government has announced a date. Let's hope that it is able to meet the deadline in announcing that. Coming more on a little bit of the broader part, we find MAT is a serious matter. One of the matter that government should really do to rationalize is the MAT is concerned. They should see whether infrastructure industry, where we need infrastructure very badly, there should be some incentive for them. A rationalization or reduction of rate for infrastructure industry, real estate industry going into a very big crisis, rationalization on that. Incentives on the manufacturing side, or the MAT, is again will be a very, very important step, a reform that the government should consider in this budget to kickstart these sectors which are laggard and which are really trailing and lowering the entire growth rate of the country basically. And it's sectors like infrastructure which has a cascading effect actually on the whole economy should be given more incentive in terms of cheap financing, in terms of MAT, rationalization or similar other measures which we hope the government will introduce certain things for these sector specific is concerned. A little bit also on the personal side of taxation, where we have a good amount of collection of personal taxes. The government must consider to give some incentives on the terms of investment is concerned. They did have enhanced the limit in the previous budget. I think they can look into further to rationalize it basically, if they can give some more incentive or to the public at large to see that they have a more incentive to invest money and they can lower down the tax burden on the general public at large is concerned. The list is endless. As I said it is sector specific. It is a constraint before the government. It is a challenge before the government. the good part of the government is, the good part of the present state is, the country is going with the petrol prices, the energy prices, the oil and gas prices going very low. Government has been able to save good amount of billions of dollars in this year. It has been fortunate enough to contain the fiscal deficit. The price is expected to be lower, is not likely to go back to the same level for next year also. In such scenario, the government has a lot of things up its sleeves to see that how well they can use this position basically, which is in a fortunate position, government is in a fortunate position today, to use this situation for the general good of the economy and use this subsidy which is earlier being given to meet its deficit position is concerned. As I said you, the expectations are huge. The government came back with a big majority. Basically, every sector, every person affected has some of the expectation of the government. There are constraints, there's a push, there's a pull before the government. Let's hope the government is able to satisfy. Let's hope the government is able to bring something for as much as possible, for the as maximum sector as possible, without having a serious dent on its tax collection or on the fiscal deficit or the current deficit, and at the same time continue to maintain the moment, continue the public spending in a bullish way, to see that the economy and the investment cycle churns up, and at the same time the foreign investors, the FDI, continues to come in the India in a much more bigger way rather than sticking to the current around $30 billion. And thank you so much. Basically, let's wait for a few more days. Let's see to what extent the FM is able to meet the demands of the industry and for the corporate and the common public at large. Thank you very much.